Hey there, I'm Abby. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, then welcome. And if you've seen my videos before, then welcome back. Today, I'm sharing a super fun technique called the bubble press. We are going to be doing something a bit different than what I normally do for my painting technique, where we will be utilizing my secret tool. You kind of get it for free, but you usually have to buy something in order to get some. So you'll understand what I mean in just a minute. Today I'm sharing a unique and fun acrylic painting technique called the bubble press. So I'm going to be using some bubble wrap left over from, I don't know, some sort of package that I got a while ago. And I'm going to be drizzling some paint on there and then pressing a canvas on top. So it's super fun, pretty easy with, well, okay, I was going to say not as much of a mess, but it's still pretty messy. If you want the full breakdown of this technique, along with how to prep your canvas, how to mix your paints, and how to seal and varnish your painting once it's done drying, I have a step-by-step tutorial in my course. So check it out in the description below. Okay, so for your supplies, you are going to need a canvas. It's definitely easier to do this with a smaller canvas rather than a big one. You're also going to need some bubble wrap. I like to tape mine on this cutting board that I've never used for actually cutting anything. And I tape it down. You could tape it down to a table if you wanted. You just are going to need to be a little bit extra mindful of your paint not spilling like all over your table and everything. So as long as you have a big area of bubble wrap, you should be good. You're going to need some paints mixed up. So I've got some that are already mixed up here. And let's see, what else? You're not going to necessarily need a torch, but if you have one, great. But if not, that's not really a problem. I will show you how to check for bubbles at the end when we're done. You might want to have some paper towels on standby just in case it does get really messy. And then some gloves just in case you want to keep your hands clean. All right, if you have it, you'll also want a Sharpie or a marker because we will need to trace out our canvas area on the bubble wrap. So drawing out the surface area of the canvas on the bubble wrap will help us see where we need to put our paint to make sure that we'll have our edges are like the far sides of the canvas, the outside of the canvas. You know what I'm trying to say. We're trying to make sure that we fill up this whole area with paint. That's what I'm trying to say here. And so that's where tracing really comes in handy, because you'll have a guide of where to drizzle your paint here on the bubble wrap. And there we have it. We have our surface area for where we need to drizzle our paint. Oh, one more color. Add some white in there to make sure I can brighten it up a little bit. So our canvas is ready for our press. We have our area drawn out. So now we're ready to start drizzling. And you can experiment here with the thickness of your paint. So the thinner your paint is, the more that the colors are going to blend together. And the thicker that your paint is, the more distinct the colors are going to be. It'll still blend a little bit because you are pushing, a canvas into paint, but it just won't be as much as if it's thin. We want to make sure that we really cover this with a good amount of paint across all of our colors. You don't want any dry gaps on the canvas. I'm going to go ahead and use this off-white next. It will help kind of break up the colors and lighten it up a little bit, since I've got some darker blues and purples that I'm using. And as always with fluid art, you can always scrape your canvas if you don't like what you did and do it again. Plus then, whatever you scrape off, you can save and mix together, and you'll have your very own custom background color. That's a quick tip for you. And now I imagine like something panning across the screen right now going, quick tips. We'll see. I don't know if I have the skills for editing that. All right, now light blue. I'm gonna go orange. Then dark blue. This is a great technique to do with kids, really for all age groups. You're never too old to paint and create and do something fun, Okay, dark and light blue. I did my dark purple and white. I might do a little bit more white in there before we press. Light coral orange. Yeah, I'm just going to do a little bit more white. Okay. So now we are ready to press. So when you go to press, I have found that it is easier, instead of just going like straight down, to kind of start with one edge and then slowly bring the other edge down. That will help, let the air escape as you put your canvas down. So that way you have the most contact of the canvas surface to your paint here. And it's the same thing that when you go to lift, and you'll see me do this, but I wanted to go ahead and make a note. So I like to start from the edge closest to me and then push down, and then do the reverse of that going up. So this side that went down last is first up. All right. So let's go ahead and put this one down. Okay, I'm just making sure that it's all in there. I'm just doing a really gentle press on the frame of my canvas here. It looks like I got a little bit of paint on my gloved hands. Not a ton of pressure. I just want to make sure that, it's really in the paint there. I almost feel like I needed to bring it down a little bit. Okay. All right. And then after we've done the outside, I just do a very gentle press on the inside here of the canvas. Okay, so I like to let it sit for like just a couple of seconds before I pull it up after I'm done pressing. Okay, I am seeing paint coming out of the top here, so I think my top is gonna be good there. All right, so I am good to pull up. So this tape that I'm using to hold my bubble press is not the best. So I'm gonna have to pull up, and I might have to hold this down. Let's see, I might be able to just pull up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do both. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Oh, so this one edge was a little skimpy, but the rest looks really good. I do have some air bubbles that I'm seeing. Some of them are popping already, which is good. Yeah. Wow, look at that. I love those colors together. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set this down first, actually. I'm gonna set this down and then we'll continue talking. All right, so first, here's the close-up. So this is the super cool thing about using the bubble wrap. It makes this really cool feather design. Oh, I love how it sweeps on the edge there. I'm really enjoying this color combination too. Oh, yeah, and sometimes you'll have like some little gaps in the paint there, so that's the surface of the canvas. You just gotta take your finger and give it a little dab. There we go. Wow. And I personally don't worry about the sides. I think I have seen it where artists have like pressed the sides into the wet paint as well. I don't really trust myself to like not drop my canvas and like mess up the whole entire thing. Sorry, I got distracted. Look at that little squiggly. Okay. So what I personally do is once this is really dry to the touch, I will tape off like some of the surface, covering some of the edge up to the edge here, and then I will paint the sides. So you'll have like where you first dipped in, which was this side for me, where it'll drip, but a lot of the sides won't be doing that. Yeah. So what I personally will be doing is I will either paint the edges black, or I will use either like the dark blue or the dark purple. For this one, I would say probably the dark blue to cover the sides. And just for grins, I'm just gonna go ahead and torch on camera to the best of my ability. Okay, so if you don't have a food torch to get rid of the bubbles, something that I like to do is kind of get on eye level here with the canvas, and I will check for like any bumps or anything that could potentially be a bubble. You'll see some bumps and ridges from the bubble wrap, which is, that's how it makes the paint design. And so that is totally okay. You don't have to do anything with that. So yeah, we are good. I don't see, take one little quick look here. Actually, I do see something real quick. I am gonna grab it. There's just a couple little bubbles here that I'm popping. Yeah, so if you wanted to pop bubbles, you could use a palette knife, you could use like a little skewer or a toothpick. Get on eye level and then just give them a little pop. And that's everything to it. So, yeah, there's really nothing else more that you need to do now. So for that painting, it'll be probably dry to the touch in like 2 days. But it will need 2 weeks to sit and dry so that we can ensure all the moisture from the paint has come out. And then once that's done, it can be sealed and varnished and it's ready to hang. All right, so thank you so much for coming and painting with me today. Give me a like if you really enjoyed this technique. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on trying it out. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I always love answering questions. Lastly, if you want further instruction on how to mix your paint, how to prep your canvas, and how to seal your painting when it's done, I do have a course that goes through all of those steps with a lot of really great detail. So your painting will look like a pro. So that course is linked down below in the description. So give it a look if you're interested. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Okay, one more thing. Sorry, I forgot to say this before I stopped filming. If you enjoyed this content and you want to see more of my videos, please hit subscribe and then you'll get notified of my new videos. All right, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.